YOLO.
YOLO.
We're live right now. What's up, all you investors? Uncle Phil, how you doing, man?
Doing well, WIGNZ. Thank you for hosting us this evening. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the drinks.
Absolutely.
Where should we start, man? We got champions, we got slightly stupid, we got e-commerce. Where do we go, Uncle Phil?
We've got a lot going on. We are constantly hustling. We're doing our thing. Seems like things are starting to rev back up again. Let's hope they keep revving up. But we have a lot of things in queue. You guys have always hear me talking about that we have a lot in queue, and some things work out for us, some things don't. And it's not how many times you fail, it's how many times you succeed, and we're going to succeed big.
And as always, if you guys want to leave those comments, we can see them in real time. We'll answer them during the middle of the webinar, but we'll also answer them afterwards. But let's go to the champ, baby. I think we should talk a little bit about that. This was just epic.
Absolutely. Charles Johnson, LFA champ. There he is right there. He's wearing the Yolo Rum logo on his shorts.
Yes,
there.
Right underneath that championship belt.
Right underneath the championship belt. We really appreciate you guys getting that in such a prominent spot. Excellent job. I mean, he made quick work in that fight. That kid is going to do huge things. He's heading to the UFC, so we're really excited for him to head to the UFC, and then we're going to continue our sponsorship. We really like what he's doing, and he's got the energy going on. So I think that I want to have the energy going on, but he really has the energy going.
How did that relationship happen?
It happened through actually one of our investors, Nicholas Bolden. He is the man, and thank you for holding it down in Missouri for us, the Missouri family. We really appreciate it. We got a lot going on. One of the big things we have going on, and I just don't like to talk about things before it actually happens. But we sent some samples out to a distributor in Missouri, and we're expecting some really good news from that. So we have a strong presence in Missouri with you guys. And
well, I think it's big to acknowledge the investor and to show all you other investors that it's like when you communicate with us regularly and you get on us, we make sure that things like this happen, and shoot, then you get on the shorts of a champ.
Well, absolutely. And it's an exciting thing for us to be a part of, and we really encourage you guys to get out there and help us make these deals happen. And people think that we're a giant company, and at the end of the day, it's just we're a few people that are just doing big things. But the more you guys can help us, the faster it's going to happen. With COVID and everything that's going on, we're getting thrown a lot of curveballs these days, but we're still in the game. You cannot win the game unless you're playing the game.
And you keeping that open communication with us, if it's on the text line, if it's on the email, if it's just calling us, that's really crucial, right? That's what Nick did to get in contact with Sam, and then the ball got rolling on there. So even if you feel like sometimes you're not being heard, just keep knocking on the door. Eventually we'll be able to get to it. Like you said, we're only a team of a few trying to do the work of a lot. So sometimes we're not able to get to those calls, but when we do, we get the champ, the belt on the champ, and then we get our logo on the shorts.
Yep, it was, and I think it's a little bit more than that. It's us, it's kind of like it's a family deal. It's like really, putting these things together, and people that are like-minded people and people that are trying to do big things and really are working on ascending. It's a perfect partnership, and we just love those kinds of situations. And we like to be paired up with a champion because we've got 32 of our own international awards.
We need little belts for these. We should put some championship belts.
We do need some belts for those.
Slightly stupid. I think we should talk about that. Let's show a little clip from Sam and I were there front row. Everyone was backstage, but we actually got to be there front and center as they were doing their acoustic set. It was 2 nights though, but we were there for the acoustic set getting this performance. Yo, I'll drink to that. Shout out to Eric Swanson for, he always takes care of us and makes sure things like that can happen where we're backstage. But shout out to you, Uncle Phil, because not only were we serving drinks out there, but we have, what was that machine? We have frozen daiquiris now? What was that?
We had daiquiris. We did a Denver Donkey, which for you guys that don't know, a Denver Donkey is like a Moscow Mule, except substitute the vodka for Yolo Rum Silver, and they are amazing. So we call it the Denver Donkey, affectionately, because we love the Broncos here in Denver, and why not?
Some might say that
Moscow
name
Mule,
means you hate them.
Denver Donkey. Well, when you're a big Denver fan, you're allowed to say those kinds of things.
We're allowed to say that.
So it was great. We had a strawberry daiquiri too. We made it with natural strawberry puree. It was absolutely delicious. We got to see Josh and Jackie there. They actually pulled me out of a line. I was walking past and they were like, Uncle Phil, Uncle Phil. So we got him up there. We got him some drinks. We got to hang out with them. They were getting me shots of Yolo Rum, and honestly, probably too many shots of Yolo Rum, but it was fun hanging out. And whenever you guys are at an event like that, and if you see one of us, flag us down, because if it's a Yolo Rum sponsored event or we're doing something there, we can a lot of times get you guys access. A lot of it happens kind of the time of the show, so it's hard to really arrange these things in advance. But if you see us there and we're doing something there, we'll try to get you guys back to party with us.
And I think as far as networking, even, it's not just the investors, but we actually are able to make those connections just in happenstance and be able to use that relationship to, hey, come on, hang out with us, have a good time, see what the Yolo Rum vibe is all about, see what our team's about, and that helps our brand go to another level. So yes, part of it is partying, part of it is going front row, and part of it is work. So it never really stops.
And it actually was mostly work, honestly. Yeah. And it was great. We had Nolan Carroll out with his brother, and we hosted them, and we had just a phenomenal time. They got to kind of see how we really do things, and we've been kind of in this mode for a long time. So to really be doing our own thing, there was still some COVID protocols. We had a line going up 3 stories of stairs to get a drink, and normally all those people would be up on the 3rd floor with us. So COVID changed a lot of things, but we are definitely famous for that party. People come up there looking for us, and we made a lot of connections. And most certainly thank you to Eric, and thank you to Slightly Stupid. You guys are just amazing, man. Eric is the man. I've said it over and over and over again, but the reason that we're there every single year and we're able to do what we are able to do and we have the access we have is because of Eric.
Another part, team member. And so everything involves the team, and like we say it every time, we can't do it without it. He's one of the owners.
He's the band manager. He's the tour manager of Slightly Stupid, but he's also one of the owners of Yolo Rum. So we're all trying to use our talents to advance our agendas. So yeah, kudos to everybody that we saw there, and it was a great time, but we got a lot of work done.
But that was a busy weekend because
a lot of people got to try Yolo Rum.
A lot of people got to try Yolo Rum. It was nice to be back there, and that was the acoustic set. It was 2 nights on the rocks. It was a great name for us to even be a part of. But that was a crazy weekend because that was also right before, it was Rum Month, and it was right before National Rum Day.
So August was just, it was a blur for us. There was just so much going on, and it was great to get out and represent. We had a lot of people through. We sold a lot of bottles of rum for being a Monday. We did that on a Monday. Yeah. And everybody was kind of skeptical, like, hey, we've never done this kind of thing on a Monday. We don't know how it's going to work. And we just absolutely did.
I love the skeptics. I skeptics of wondering what our rum tastes like, skeptics of wondering how many bottles we're going to say, because we were at 2 different locations, and each location our team divided and conquered. And I think my location over at Total Beverage on 104th beat you guys at Argonauts, but regardless, it was a success all the way around.
The numbers don't lie. And I brought my A game, so I'll just say scoreboard. But anyway, we were at Argonaut representing on East Colfax. And for you guys that do know, our office and this studio here is on East Colfax. So it was cool to be representing in the neighborhood. We appreciate everybody that came out to buy Yolo Rum and to say hi to us. It was great to have Larry out at Argonaut. We had a lot of people come out and say hi to Larry. And I mean, with COVID, nobody knows where Larry's at. It's like, Larry is still here. He's still doing his thing. If you guys are paying attention to our social media, we're sharing Larry's content, and he is the king of creative content, as you all know.
Jubilee's watching. What's up to her?
Jubilee!
He commented on YouTube. James Evans, Yolo.
James, what's up?
Uncle Phil is awesome. I can't see the name on that, but they commented on Facebook. Uncle Phil is so awesome. Isn't just awesome. He's so awesome.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. We're working hard.
I think that's the people you drank with. That had to be the people that got you the shots, because they had to party with Uncle Phil.
Well, we were partying, that's for sure. I don't normally do shots of Yolo Rum Gold, but we were doing shots of Yolo Rum Gold. That tells you what was going on. This is a sipping rum, but it went down pretty good as shots too, I have to admit.
Fat Boy Sushi in Florida. Do we want to talk about that?
They are doing incredible content for us. We're featured on the menu. We're featured in their Mai Tai. We're also featured in, what is the other drink? We got
the daiquiri.
Oh, and their daiquiri.
The Hemingway daiquiri.
And their Hemingway daiquiri. So we appreciate everything that they're doing. They're posting like beautiful pictures, beautiful content, beautiful images. We really appreciate that. Goes so far in our universe and any help that we could get. So it's great to have these partners, because we were doing these kinds of things a long time ago and people really didn't understand what we were doing, but now everybody is starting to understand the things that we do and how we kind of do things. And
they finally showed up to the party.
We didn't bring the digital world to them. The digital world finally just came to us.
It's really true. Like even as far as like going to tastings that were 3 or 4 years ago, they might not have seen the social media relevancy to that. Now they're like, oh, tag us, post us, comment. Like it really is evolved to where I'm glad, because we're ahead of the trend, and we're going to get to that to e-commerce. That's a huge part that we're going to get into. But that all translates to where being ahead of the curve and being able to kind of capitalize on that.
Absolutely.
WeFunder shares.
WeFunder. So I've been working on that. August was a blur, like I said, and I'm a little bit of a one-man band when it comes to taking care of just the legal stuff and everything that has to be done in terms of just administrative.
Have you seen Ed Sheeran play? Ed Sheeran can play the drums. He starts the drum tempo, and then he plays the guitar, and then he records that harmonica. You're like Ed Sheeran.
I am a little bit like that, except I can't hold a note on anything that I'm playing. So I'm concentrating. I'm keeping my eye on the ball. There are things that are priorities. We are hustling. We're trying to get some new distributors. We are just on the cusp of announcing some big news, the biggest news to date for us. So I'm just hoping that these things happen for us. If they don't happen, we're going to go right after something else. But
always rolling.
Always rolling. We got a lot going on. So in terms of the WeFunding shares, there's a chronology of things that have to happen, and it's probably like a 10-step process. And I'm honestly at about step number 4, but it's at the top of my priority list, and I hope to have everything done by the end of November, the beginning of December. And so we're looking for like a 2022 launch on something like Start Engine. And that is another idea that came to us from an investor. So we really appreciate that. Those ideas are invaluable, basically. But it's going to be a marketplace to where we can openly buy and sell our stake in Yolo Rum, even publicly, to people that are even outside of the original investors. But we're going to take care of the original investors first. If there's somebody...
Why is the rum gone, Phil? Why is the rum gone,
gone,
Uncle Phil?
We got a new bottle.
All right, sorry.
So we're going to take care of the original investors that want to get out at their at what they bought in at, and we appreciate you guys, giving it a try. But you know, this is kind of a ride or die situation, and we are in it for the long haul, and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and we're actually doing something that's never been done before. So if for you guys that have done things that have never been done before, you know that it is not easy, because there's no roadmap, there's no YouTube video, there's no instructions.
We're making the YouTube video right now.
Yeah, we're actually making the YouTube video for this right now.
You're going to see this in 30 years.
You guys are a part of this, and I really believe
that
the whole, everything that we set out to achieve, that we are achieving, everything that we've set out to achieve. And I can't just state it enough. You have got to be playing the game to win, and we're still in the game. We've survived. COVID has taken out just, God forbid, just, an uncountable number of people, but also startup businesses, and especially businesses in our industry. So it's taken out a lot of square one people, and we are still in the game. We are still strong. We're still playing. We still have the support of all of our
members like you. You guys are all commenting like crazy. So Scott, you gave some Yolo Rum love. Scott Yolo, Dwayne Dodson, what's up, Yolo fam?
Jordan,
have to take a sip of the gold for
Dwayne.
you guys. I guess we have Cleveland in the house. Sam is monitoring these comments, so he knows which one of them is from Cleveland. Maybe it's Dwayne. And then Scott heard before the rum was gone, he heard the cork popping, and he loved that sound. So. Who doesn't?
It is very distinguished. You know, these bottles will almost become, well, they won't almost, they will become collector's editions. These are almost like NFTs that you can hold in your hand and actually put in your mouth and enjoy it. Because these are going to be collector's items, because eventually the natural cork is going to be going away, and it's because of the environment and because of a shortage of natural cork and cork trees and just climate change. So everything will be going to a synthetic cork. We still have...
So you better record that sound or take a clip
yeah,
of this video.
Exactly.
Do it one more time.
The synthetic corks are very cool. A lot of people can't even tell the difference, so I probably shouldn't have even said anything. But when you're a snob like Scott...
Pop.
There he goes.
All right.
Right on. Well, I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you guys always being here. I mean, it's the same people time after time, and you guys are participating. It'd be great to be able to motivate some of the other people participating. We've been talking about just more pressure through email campaigns and getting a lot more regular on that, and then also through the Facebook group and just getting a lot more active and proactive.
Yeah.
It's hard to kind of take care of business and then rally the troops. So just having you guys participate and really leading by example is a big deal. So I really appreciate it.
Rum fam, can't wait for our future. That's a comment on Facebook. Sorry, I can't see your name. I'd give you a shout out. But to that point, and being ahead of the curve, the Facebook group, we started this about 1.5 years ago, I believe. And they really didn't blow up. And now you see Facebook promoting for Facebook groups all the time, because this is a community. And so that interaction, that engagement with you guys really starts in this group. It's your tool to get at us, your tool to ask us questions. Yes, we do these webinars and we're streaming in that group right now, but it really is your opportunity to get involved with us and make sure that we're hearing you guys. And like I said, you keep knocking, we'll let you in the party. We want to go into Ramita.
Ramita Foundation, the Brothers Against Duchenne. We've supported that organization. It was pre-COVID, and then they just had an event on Saturday. Sam went out and represented for us, and I had some other engagements. So we really appreciate Sam getting out there, and we had a really nice basket to auction off and help those kids out. And
yeah, what was the foundation?
You know, but
everyone just sells different things in like baskets, and they're able to raise money for it. So that was
it's like a silent auction, like any other. Like it's like a auction event for a charitable event. So we donated something that was auctioned off with hundreds of other things. They have things autographed from Von Miller and just baseball paraphernalia and dinners to restaurants and stuff like that. But we put together a gift box that was auctioned off, and 100% of the proceeds to that actually goes to Ramita Foundation.
And I don't know if you've ever seen the way Uncle Phil and Sam put together a gift basket, but you guys have no idea. It is the best looking thing. You might as well go to Hallmark to get it. The bottles are in there, the little mixers are in there, the t-shirts, the swag. Like, that is a Christmas gift that we need to start giving people, I'm telling you.
We put a lot of love into it because we care.
Rum love.
And, you know, philanthropy is a big part of our game, and a lot of people preach that, but not a lot of people walk that. So we walked that, and that's been something that's been huge to us. That's a huge way for us to get out and connect in the community, and we've supported dozens of charitable organizations, and we've done probably well over 100 events, and that's meeting people, getting out, shaking hands, but really helping people. And that is something that everybody talks about, social responsibility. Everybody talks about sustainability, and honestly, like, who's actually doing that? And even sustainability, like with our corks, like, you know, everybody talks about what they're going to do.
But we walk the walk.
We do it. And so, and a lot of things that we do, like, we're small and we're very agile. So we pivot a lot, and bigger companies can't pivot. So I know everybody's like, why is it taking so long? It's because it is our #1 priority, but these giant companies, we are not their #1 priority. But that being said, it is how we're going to change how things are done, and that's a good pivot to the direct to consumer too.
So Reggie Webb, we got your question on there. I know Sam answered it, but we're gonna ask that online and answer that as well. Hugh Dolo, what's good? He's from Houston. What's up, man? But before we get into that, one of the biggest things that we wanted to hit on was e-commerce and the direction that we're headed with that. Because like you said, COVID is happening. A lot of changes took place. We saw people do a lot of purchases online, and we speaking of pivot, we pivoted in that direction, already kind of ready for that digital presence, and it's a pretty good stronghold for us right now.
You know, things just change. If this would have been an option for us in the very, very beginning, our path would have been different, but we had to take this path. And that being said, that's because we couldn't have grown past a certain point. But the direct-to-consumer is super important. The easiest way to get there is just yolorum.com and navigate from there. And you're one click away basically from buying it. And the more you guys can get that out there, and the more that we can start selling the rum and getting it into people's mouths, the faster we're going to blow up. So the direct to consumer is a big deal. It's not going anywhere, and we're going to start really promoting it through the social media, through
channels and marketing,
and
marketing that's leading the edge as far as what we could do and who we could actually like target is going to be a game changer for us. And one of the other things that's going to be a game changer for you guys as investors, and we're not there yet, but we're working on it, is a subdomain for your specific domain that you could pitch to people and tell, or not pitch to people, just tell them, hey, you could buy my rum at let's say hugh.yolorum.com. We're working on that. It's not there yet, but there is a time coming to where you wondered how you could do it. You got involved in it's your rum. Well, now you're getting your own website to have people buy it online. So we are working on that. As far as you guys always wondered how we can get you content to share and post, we're going to give you your own link for your rum to sell.
It's going to be, we're trying to do things totally different than everybody else.
So do we want to go to questions right now, Phil?
Sure, let's go to questions.
Reggie Webb, what's going on? I wanted to see if there's, and remember, ask your questions now. We can see them on Facebook and YouTube. Reggie wanted to say, what's going on? I wanted to see if there's still a limited run in Virginia ABC stores.
Yes.
Yes!
Virginia's been steady Eddie for us. We're not selling a whole bunch in Virginia, but it is cool because we are available there, and we're selling Yolo Rum in Virginia, so yes, they should currently have it.
How many stores are we currently in? Is that something that could even be answered?
In Virginia?
No, just in general. This was a Facebook user. I'm sorry, I can't see your name, but this is just a Facebook user asking how many stores that we're currently in.
I couldn't even ballpark that right now. It's a constantly fluctuating number, and
e-commerce is more of the stronghold of where we want to.
Well, we were really strong, and then things are it's up and it's down, but I don't know currently where we're at. In terms of where we're at and where we're trying to go, in terms of where we're at, we may only be in, and we've been, I think, at our peak in 200 stores, and now maybe around 100 or so. And that's just, I don't know. I think Sam could answer that a lot better than I could answer it. And I really don't pay attention to really the nitty gritty of what's going on. Because, well, just in terms of, we could get one contract with one retailer that could be 1,000 stores. Mm. And so that's really what our focus is right now, or 300 or 400 stores. Or, we're really trying to get one or two really big whales, and once we're in those places, if we could really establish ourselves in a couple big retailers, we could really do a lot of damage, and other big retailers would be interested in what we have going on. So we're really focused on we tightened up our website, really bringing our package as robust as possible for us being the size of company that we are, and for what these big companies really expect from a liquor brand. And because liquor brands, when they bring a product to these retailers, they bring a lot of marketing, and they bring a really good marketing plan. And so we have to bring something that is just as robust, but since we don't have the financial or the fiscal basically resources, we really have to rely on our creativity and really,
and
really
investors.
being,
I would say that investors too. Again, it's like someone on here said, Vineland Liquors on 88th and Wads has plenty. That type of communication, and I can't say this enough. Like every investor in the Facebook group is just like yourself, right? Like we're like, hey man, I invest in this, I believe in it. But when you guys open that dialogue with one another, and you don't really necessarily just depend on YOLO to get that message out, but rather you guys are communicating with each other and saying, hey, did you guys know Vineland Liquors has on 88th and Wads? Or hey, I just got Yolo Rum into Total Beverage on 104th. Or hey, they're almost sold out. When you guys have that type of communication, it not only empowers you because your voice is being heard from people similar to you, but it empowers all the people who are following the group page to be like, oh, I didn't know it was over there. So it's really important to answer the question of how many stores we're in, help us, right? Like if we're not 100 stores, let's get into 200 stores, let's get into 300 stores by us communicating and talking. So I mean, not to hijack what you're saying, but I just think that that group is really important to helping us spread across more liquor stores and having that constant communication.
I agree 100%.
Why the focus on what? Let's see. After watching a boxing match on Triller platform recently, it seems like YOLO brand would be a huge and a great fit for those viewers. Is that? I mean, it would be, right? Is that something where potentially soon? I mean,
well, the great thing is about all these new platforms is right now it's affordable. So if you guys get a line on something that is like, it could be a big opportunity, and they're looking for advertisers, and our big thing is, so for us, we're trying to attract bigger fish by putting a bigger fish, catching a big fish, putting a big fish on the hook and catch even a bigger fish. Well, there's a lot of digital opportunities right now to where a lot of these new platforms, they really want to have just some solid brand association and professional brand associations to really attract other brands. And so there's really an energy and a synergy there, and there's a lot of opportunities. So if you guys are talking like in the hundreds of dollars, that's like our budget and our range, because we're just trying to do a lot and we're spread over doing a lot of things. But there's a lot of things that you can do for hundreds of dollars and get big boom, little buck. And that's what we're really all about. Guerrilla marketing.
That's our niche.
What we do.
That's what we do. Well, it's funny I said that about the fish, because and sorry again, you guys, if you're on Facebook, I have all the comments in one spot, so I can't see your name directly, otherwise I'd mention you. But someone says, why focus on the whales and not huge amounts of small fish instead of small amounts of whales? You're right. I think that's exactly what we're doing, even with you guys as investors and as members of our team. Is you guys are the small fish, right? Your school of fish is going into Thornton, your school of fish is going into Arvada, your school of fish is going into Longmont, and you're helping us get into those smaller fish locations so that we can get the attention of the whales. So to answer that, we're all working together to
I think that's an excellent question.
Yeah.
Because why shoot for the stars? Why shoot for the moon when it seems like maybe there's some lower hanging fruit? And the potential is huge. But at the end of the day, especially in this industry, you really have to coddle every single customer. And that's why we've had more. I know we're not at our pinnacle of where we've been. And that's because of it's directly related to just resources that we have. Because we basically have to have feet on the street, and we have to regularly basically service those customers. And in this industry, we've been pushed out because of distribution, and the distributors are ruthless. They will go, and we will have premium shelf space, and they will go in and take us off of that shelf and move us to somewhere else in the store, and the proprietors really don't even know. No. So we have to have people that go into that store. They know that we're supposed to be on this top shelf, and really knowing that, really kind of knowing every single customer in a very intimate way. And that all just comes down to resources. That comes down to basically hiring people that we had on the streets. And we did that actually. And we did that with crowdfund money. And I don't want to I hate crying over spilled milk, but we did that. And it was not pretty. And the results were not good because of the amount of managing that really had to happen. And the fact that it required the people that were doing it maybe were not the people that should have been doing it, and they talked like they were the people that were going to do it. And a lot of people talk, and that is the biggest thing that I've learned in my 29 years of business experience is that there's a lot of people talking and
not a lot of walking.
Not a lot of people that do. But eventually that is where we have to do that. We have to go for everybody. We have to have feet on the street. We have to have really a robust presence. It's going to require really a next level or a next stage for us to be able to do that, because to pay people's salaries, we'd have to be paying people, $40,000 to $60,000 a year to be able to do that with an expense account. And then really we would have to be the ones that would organize their routes and really manage that. So we would almost need a sales manager, and then we would need the feet on the street. And we are just not trying to burn through money. So the fact that we are so lean is why we're sitting here right now. And all you guys know, we're still here. Well, we're still doing this.
That's a great question that we got from this Facebook user that leads right into that. So what's the financial run rate? Meaning, how long can you operate before you need to raise more funds?
The feet on the street, basically we rolled that out in Miami and Denver. And like I said, we used a lot of our resources, our crowdfund resources for that, especially, and for those human resources. And it did not provide us the same amount of energy that really doing things on a mass level and basically being able to scale things up. And there's a way to spend money and really have a much greater impact with that money rather than just putting it into the human resources. But we indefinitely right now, I'm pretty much solely funding everything right now until we get to this next level on this next platform for next year. And when I say solely, I mean there's people coming out of pocket for expenses and stuff like WIGNZ, and I mean we are, the members are coming out of the pocket. We're handling it. I'm covering a lion's share of that.
Correct. Yeah.
And so we're able to sustain. Like, we're not bankrupt, and that's the funny thing about it. Like, everybody's like, "Oh, are you guys bankrupt? Are you guys broke? Are you guys?" We're doing the same thing that we were doing before we were doing the crowdfund, which is growing the brand. And the brand is way bigger now than it was before the crowdfund. And so we've really learned a lot. And something else that I've learned in business and in life in general, and this is probably the most valuable piece of advice that I really live my life by, is a person must suffer to be wise. And in this journey, the suffering and really the hard times have really made us a lot smarter,
stronger, and
we're lean. And so when I'm talking about, hey, we can do things at the hundreds of dollars level, we're looking to do things on a gigantic level. We're idling still on the Google Google Brand Accelerator program. And so with that deal, we have people waiting for us right now on bigger deals to see what we're going to do when we roll that out. We are not at the point to roll that out just yet, just because the timing is not good. And I want to make sure that everything lines up perfectly. And it's easy to be impatient and kind of rush things, but when it comes to timing, it's imperative that the timing is good. The other thing that I'm kind of waiting for is rum to trend. And rum is starting to trend.
If you see it, there's Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars has his own rum, but even he's starting to trend. The advertising for that is trending. It's like, so, and you see celebrities getting into the alcohol game more and more. But as far as rum trending, you really can see the advertisements, and you can see the promos, and you can see things starting to trend for it. And we've been on the forefront of that. So when it comes to SEO, when it comes to digital marketing and the NFT and stuff that Phil was talking about, we're really on the forefront of that. So when it does trend and people search for that, just like with Google, when they found us, Yolo Rum is at the top of that fold. One of the questions, and we have a question about minis. Another question is, I'm in Las Vegas. This is Johnny E. He's in Las Vegas. Do you or will you have anything going on here in Vegas?
Man, we just keep flirting with Vegas. Like, we just so we had actually.
I always did that when I was in Vegas.
We had some things lined up, and it's very elusive, but it comes down to distribution, and that it's very much controlled by the people that control everything. And so that's been one of the big barriers that we've come up against, but we're like trying to solve this problem, and it's a complex problem, but we're working hard to solve these very complex problems every day, and we will
one state at a time.
One state at a time. But once we get momentum, it's really going to be. It's a tipping point. It's going to be, basically the dam is broken.
I have a question, and I don't know what it really is. It just says minis! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Question mark.
Minis are out, and just kind of got to find them. Some people have them, some people don't have them. I would grab those minis because those minis are for sure
NFT
going to be collector's items, just in terms of we're going to be changing the look of the minis, just because the minis really have to become a sampler for us. And then also we want the minis to be something that people can take to the beach, because rum is such a beachy thing. So we got to get away from the glass bottles for the minis, so people can take them to the beach on the coast.
Oh man, I wish I could remember his name, and I'm sorry for there's a guy who dresses as a Broncos mascot, and he actually gets TV time, and he came down to the rum tasting for us. Gosh, I forget his name, but anyway, he and I feel so bad. He literally has a Broncos mohawk, and he's gonna put the minis in the mohawk as he gets into the game, so that he can have the minis there. He's an investor in Yolo Rum, but
we gotta get
Broncos
pictures
Spike.
of that.
Broncos Spike. Yeah, I told him that we needed those pictures. But one question is, what
Very creative too. That's how I'm gonna get him into the Broncos game.
You can't be Broncos Spike though. You need.
I'm not gonna
TV
be Broncos
time.
Spike. I'm just gonna put him. I wish I had some hair so I could hide my Yolo Rum in my hair.
What happened to the lady you put in charge of the business management? Let me correct that. What happened to Lieutenant Commander Carol that you put in charge of Yolo Rum?
She is our acting chief executive officer. She's doing her thing. She's working on some big deals too, and she's been grinding for us. A lot of these opportunities that we have in Florida are because of her, and we're really looking forward to a lot of things that are in the works. But the things that she's implemented for us, the way that the website, a lot of things that have just come to completion, and honestly, the last month or so, are all things that she's implemented. These things really take time. It took, these things are taking time. Like the things that we're trying to do are not just getting a yes and we're shipping it tomorrow. Like in reality, it takes.
You gotta practice before you can hit the court, and then when you hit the court, you gotta win some games. And then when you win some games, you go to the championship.
And it takes months sometimes even to get a no. So we have all these things going on, and the lieutenant commander is extremely, extremely connected, and she's down there grinding for us, honestly.
And the question is, why don't you have her online? Why don't you have her online with you both? Well, honestly, she's in Florida and she's really working. She's grinding. That woman, that amazing lieutenant commander is 24/7. Like she will email you at 2 a.m. She doesn't stop. But we can have her on the next webinar with us. But
we've had her on.
We've had her on last webinar.
And then we just kind of, as you guys know, we scheduled this in the last week or so, and we just wanted to get out there and touch base with you guys. But
Jubilee says, damn, I drank all my minis. Tamara says, we're still by your side, YOLO forever. LV says, my minis are sitting on my collector's shelf. And then the question from James Evans, and then we'll wrap this up for you guys. The question from James Evans is distribution our number one focus right now?
It really is, because that is the missing link. And honestly, the national distribution has come down to basically everything is consolidated into very few companies. So yes, distribution is the missing link for our success to be able to, for everything. And that has been the most challenging part of everything that we've done. And honestly, it is a very, very, very political situation. And so that is why we have a professional politician that is our chief executive officer, and we're just trying to get to the point where we could really utilize all of her skills, but really get back to some type of normal situation that we had before COVID-19. And
what did that look like?
I feel like we're just trying to fly, and our wings are clipped a little bit right now, because we're all about for the people, by the people, and getting out there and doing our events and getting out in front of people like it slightly stupid. But we were doing a lot of events in Florida, and things just aren't happening the same way as before. But
we pivot, and we always
we're
pivot, and we got
pivoting,
things happening.
There's a
E-commerce,
future,
all
and
that.
there's a bright future, and there's a bright future for everybody. So as long as we're still playing the game, we can still win. And let's get past this. I really think that even with branding our name, it's really hard to do that during a pandemic, and I don't want to keep bringing that up. But there's a lot of timing, and there was a lot about too soon, and we started ramping up with everybody else, and it's like everybody started ramping up. And as you guys know, like everybody in July was like, oh, we're getting back to normal. And here we are in September, just 8 weeks later, and people are like, oh, pump the brakes on that. We're shutting things down again. We're going to restrictions. We did a big event in Fort Collins, and they
minimized the number.
They minimized the number of people there.
But we're still making our connections
Rocks.
and networks to make those things happen. So I implore you guys, again, the group, the text line, the email, info@yolorum.com. If you don't have the text line, we can get that for you, and we can leave that here in the comments. But we need you guys just to rock with us, man, as you always have been, and just get more involved in those Facebook group conversations, so that if you're not working with us, you're working with someone else that's in that group, in that team, that maybe you guys don't know what connections you guys can make with a stranger that can help the entire company and take us to that next level. So I think we should pop the cork, pour one more glass for us, and then is there any questions? Here, hold on. That's for our boy Scott. Any last questions? Ask it right now. As always, we appreciate you guys. We'll be doing the webinars more to keep you guys up to date.
We'll get the lieutenant on for the next webinar for sure.
Y'all are
Lieutenant Commander.
I love it. Y'all are the bomb. Thanks for all of your continued hard work, YOLO fam. Well, that's the way to go. So YOLO guys, we appreciate you. We love you, and thank you guys for being a part of the